Yes, the Queensland Roar, who last season finished just one game short of reaching the A-League Grand Final. And last night at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Frank Farina's side continued their Season 4 preparations with a match against 1999 Copa Libertadores champion Palmeiras of Brazil. And the Roar's Matt Mackay now joins us from Brisbane to review the match and preview Queensland's A-League season. Matt, thanks for your time. It was a 3-1 victory last night in front of 12,000 fans, so a good crowd for a pre-season match. How did you find the match?
Excellent. Obviously, it wasn't their full-strength Palmeiras side, but it was obviously for a good cause. You know, the Queensland government and Transleague put on the game for the Roar against racism, and it was great preparation for us leading into the pre-season cup and also the A-League proper.
And there's a number of players missing from last season's squad, in particular Ronaldo, who was your top scorer. So it really does put a lot of pressure on young Smits, who's signed with the club, and also the other striker, the Dutchman, who's come into the squad. What are your impressions early of those two players?
They did extremely well last night. I had Sergio Van Dijk and obviously Tim Smits is a local boy that's, he's quite handy. He's a difficult player to mark. He's good in the air, and he's got a good touch. Brings the midfielders into play, which I really enjoy. So both of them are strong players, and some of the players, if they can link well, will do us do no harm in trying to score some goals this season and really link on with the young boys that we've got running around as well.
Matty, you've lost a lot of players from last year. I mean, when you look at your backline, Ojanovsky's a very handy player to have in your defence, and you've also lost players up forward, Ronaldo, Milicic and Simon Lynch, and so and Marcinho has obviously gone as well. What are the expectations there this year? Is it a bit of a rebuilding season for you, or are you still expected to win the league?
We're still, from what we've done in pre-season, it's a strong squad. We've got, a lot of the core guys from last year. We've got, Craig Moore and Josh McLaughlin centrally, and obviously Danny Tiardo and, Massimo Madoka and myself in midfield. So it's a core kind of setup, and the additions of the young boys that are into their second year are more experienced, and it's leading in towards a good season for us. I think, it will be a rebuilding one. For seasons ahead, but every team's like that, and the players that we've brought in are good players and will do the job as well.
Matt, Zulo Cruz and Minicon injected so much excitement into the A-League last season, but I must ask you about a young man called Tom Orr, who came on for, I think, half an hour last night. There's big raps on him. Rado Vidicic says he'll be a very, very impressive and big player in the years to come, and Frank Farina has wrapped him up pretty big. What can we expect?
Huge player. He's going to be really good for the Roar. I think he's signed for 3 years, so he's one for the future. He's only 16, and I'm actually assistant coach at the QAS at the moment, and he's been there for the last couple of years under Mike Mulvey, and just to see him progress is really good. And he's one of those players, a lot like Zulo on the left, a winger who can take players on and is really quick with the ball.